Hello. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Rainy Days with Tabs. My name is Tabitha and I am your host. Guys, I am convinced that the enemy is upset. I'm convinced that the enemy is upset. You have no idea how many times I've recorded this episode, primarily because in the beginning, I wasn't feeling it. And I never want to put out an episode I don't completely stand behind, primarily because, my name is behind it. But also because the purpose of my episodes is to be helpful. I don't want to just be talking to talk. I want it to be helpful. I want it, to make an impact in your lives. And so every episode that I've tried to record up until this point has just hasn't followed suit until the most recent one. I literally just did one just now, and out of nowhere, my video just shut off. Also, I've been trying to, another reason why it's been so hard for me to record is because I've been doing a video and I'm recording, and it's weird to watch myself talk, to video watch myself talk. But yeah, I literally did one just before this and it was perfect. It was going in a great direction. I feel everything I was saying, I felt it. And then my video just stopped. And I'm not good with editing, so of course I just had to start over. So if you're listening to this is the one that made it, y'all. But the episode that I'm going to be talking about today is about how to survive the holidays. Surviving the Holidays 101. That's going to be my new name for it. I know the holidays are just not easy for everybody, and I don't like saying everybody. It's not easy for everyone. I feel that's more grammatically correct. Yeah, I know the holidays are not easy for everyone. And as much as we would like to believe that, it's a great and jolly time for every single person, it's not. And I know that firsthand because there have been many years where it was just difficult for me. A big reason for that is my father died December of 2008, and we buried him on the 20th. So that is also the same day as my mother's birthday, and also 5 days before Christmas. So you can imagine the amount of sadness that I kind of have to relive every year. I was determined for things to be different this year. I definitely felt myself getting sad towards the end of November because I knew December was coming, but I switched that thing around. I was I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And I basically came up with tips that I felt are helping me or have helped me in the past to get through this time well. And I felt it was so important for me to share it with you guys, just so that all of you don't feel hopeless. I know some people really do feel hopeless during this time. They feel the most alone that they've ever felt all year. And that's why I also feel the enemy is attacking me, because I'm this is not okay. I've literally tried so much. So the first thing I would have to say that I have started to do, or I made an effort to do, was to not compare my life to anyone else's life. It's so easy to look at someone else's life and be I want what they got, or look how their family parties, or there's this one girl I follow on social media, and honestly I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that her family is able to get together in such a way. But they basically set up a whole tent outside their house, and they have a whole display of food, the ones that go into those heated things, with the, I'm not making any sense, but basically it's the ones where but they do it buffet style. That's how much people that they have over and that they're accommodating for. Meanwhile, if I was gonna compare, and I would have thought okay, my family is super subpar. We're not even doing that. Most of my cousins live far away, so they don't even get to come down. I'm the only person that is my age, around my family. And so there's not much of that okay, partying style, and people that I'm able to talk to that are my age. It's it's different for me. But I made the conscious decision. I told myself, especially this year, I was what, I'm not going to go on social media for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to go on social media for Christmas or New Year's, because I don't want to be looking at other people's lives and wanting what they have. I don't want to become envious, considering I still have a great life. It's just not theirs. And that's okay. And so I say that to you to say that if you are that person that you are looking at other people's lives and you're kind of like looking down on your family dynamic because of how you view other family dynamics, I want to tell you that's not the way to go. And you should probably stay off of social media if you feel like you're going to get in that mode. You kind of have to protect your mental health. You have to protect your mind. You have to protect your emotions from even going to that place. And that's definitely something that I have implemented, and I found it very helpful. I was able to get on social media the day after. And by then, I had already enjoyed my Thanksgiving. I enjoyed it the way that it was. I didn't want to add to it. I didn't want to subtract from it. I just took it for what it was. And I think that is what made it really nice for me. The next thing I would say is to distract yourself. I started the month basically doing a lot. Thankfully, my best friend got married. My best friend Ashley, she got married, so that made it easy. Like, that was an easy distraction. So I had a wedding, and I love weddings, and so she definitely had all of my attention in the beginning of the month. And then 2 days after, I went to go see David Foster. I know a lot of you are probably like, who is that? But David Foster is a composer. He's a songwriter, producer. He's basically created like most of the famous songs that you know, like My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. He's produced a lot of Celine Dion songs. He has produced a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire songs, like very well-known artist. And he had a concert down here. And I decided, you know what? I want to see David Foster. Like, how many people like get to see David Foster live? And it did not, like, it made it so much better that my favorite singer, Shalea, sang. So I got to see Shalea perform in real life. And I did go alone, primarily because I wanted to go alone. That's number one. And number two, I just didn't want to hear any backlash from people being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, and then all of a sudden they're not there. I was just like, no, nobody's gonna make me miss Shalea. So I was able to do that 2 days after, and as of today is Friday, so as of tomorrow, Saturday, I have another wedding. And so my days in December have been very busy, and I've kept it busy on purpose. I've definitely been doing activities that I know like will grasp my attention so that I don't have to focus on my sadness, so that my sadness doesn't really have a place to creep in, because I'm focused, because I'm busy, my mind is occupied. Another thing I would suggest is that's a part of that is I take salsa classes. That's not something that I like share like a lot, but I do take salsa classes and I love it. It's my escape. It's literally my escape. I love it. It's salsa and bachata classes. And so now at this point, I'm like well versed in, you know, the salsa and bachata scene. Like, I could dance circles around y'all. I'm joking. But it's been really great. It's been a really nice escape for me. I didn't even realize 6 months has gone by that I've been in these classes, but it's helping me to tune into other things and to focus on other things so that my mind doesn't drift into that place of like being alone and being depressed. I'm able to focus on other things so that I can actually still enjoy my month for what it is. Also, I would say like you can do other things like cook. Like, if you are someone that likes to cook or you want to learn how to cook, spend some time cooking, spend some time learning how to bake, take some Groupon classes for that during this month. Like, if not now, then when, for sure, especially if you're trying to remain occupied. I would also say you can volunteer at shelters. I would like to volunteer at a shelter. Primarily, I would want to volunteer with children for Christmas. My mother will be working, and so I would definitely love to be occupied that morning doing something else than just being at home in bed. I want to go make a difference, and so I'm thinking I might just do a homeless shelter, because that seems to be the only thing that's popping up when I was doing my research. But if you guys know what something I can do, like, please send me, DM me or something like that, with some information about that. But I would definitely suggest doing something that helps other people. It's often important, and you help yourself, you uplift yourself when you realize that you're able to help other people, you're able to make an impact in the lives of other people. And so I would definitely suggest that. Also, go to the movies. I love the movies. I do. Although if someone were to ask me, like, have you seen this movie? I'll be like, I literally watched like The Bodyguard today. That famous 1996 movie with Whitney Houston. The first time I watched it was today. And I only watched it because the David Foster concert referenced it. And I was like, that seems like it might be a good movie. I love movies, but I haven't watched many. It's weird. I know, that's such an oxymoron. But I do remember last year on Christmas night, I went to go watch a movie. I know my mom went to church. I didn't have a church at that time, and I definitely wasn't going to go to her church. So I went to the movies. I don't remember what we did. I think we went to go see my grandmother. We spent some time over there, and then my mom went off to church, and I came home, I got ready, and I went to go watch a movie by myself. It was probably the best decision I had made because I did not feel alone. I was literally in a room with other strangers for sure, but I was entertained, and it was a really nice time for me. And so I don't know about you guys, but I would say, like, if you do like watching movies, or like if you just kind of feel alone, go spend time with someone like you don't know. Well, don't go spend time with someone you don't know. Go spend time at the movies. And you'll still be surrounded by people. Yeah, you won't know them, but you won't necessarily be alone, quote unquote. The third tip I have is not to be prideful. I remember November 2019. Yes, Thanksgiving 2019, literally the day before Thanksgiving, my boyfriend at the time broke up with me. And it was heartbreaking, as you would imagine, because we were supposed to come down to South Florida together. So he was supposed to, hang out with my family. I was supposed to hang out with his family. We were supposed to just do our like a little house hop. We were supposed to do our house hopping. I was so excited. I got my hair pressed. I was looking good, y'all. I had my dress ready. I was so excited. Even my family knew like this person was going to come down. And yeah, he like broke up with me. And so I was just lost, confused, and very much sad. And I knew like my family was expecting me. And so I like mustered up the little strength that I had, and I tried to come down, but I made it literally an hour away, but I could not stop crying. Well, not an hour from here, but I drove down an hour to Sarasota, but I couldn't stop crying. I was just such an emotional wreck because not only did he break up with me, right? But also, what am I going to tell my family? Every single person was going to ask me where he was. Every single person was going to ask me what happened. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people, like, if you ask me what's wrong, I'm going to start crying. I'm going to start crying, like, on cue. And so I definitely didn't want that. So I just remember calling my best friend Bianca, and she was like, Tabs, come back up, come spend, the holiday with me and my family. And although I didn't want that, and it was embarrassing, I didn't want to. I think it was the first time I was meeting that side of the family, that side of her father's family as well. And so it was a very uncomfortable space for me. The reason why I went was because that felt, as uncomfortable a space that was for me, she was comfortable. And so I knew that I would be okay. I knew that I was still around someone that would embrace me. And thankfully, her family did embrace me. And I ended up having a reasonably good time considering, the heartache that I was going through and the confusion. I managed, to make the best out of that situation. And it's primarily because I wasn't prideful. I didn't want to make it seem like I had it all together. No, I was falling apart and I needed that support at that moment. And I'm very grateful that it came from a very dear friend. And so if that's you and you realize like, okay, like I don't want to go with family, but I don't want to be alone, ask a friend. Ask a coworker. There is somebody out there that is willing, literally, not to take you in like you're a stray, but like literally like to bring you into their family and to develop a closeness with you. You don't have to always be alone. You can be surrounded by people who care about you. You just sometimes have to open up your mouth and say something. Everybody's not gonna automatically assume that, you know, something's wrong with you. You should say something. It would be really beneficial for you, and it would probably help you get through that day much more easy. Lastly, I would say it's important to evaluate where you are and the situation that you are in. The beauty is that because last year was this way or because this year is that way, doesn't mean next year will be that same way. I would have to say that for myself. Just because last year was super sad doesn't mean this year will be for me. I am making the steps so that it's not. I am taking the actions necessary to produce a better outcome. I can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. That is insanity. And so I want to reassure you that, yes, it's hard. It has been hard. And it's probably nothing like you expected, but you still have the opportunity to make it better. It does not have to end with you just being sad and depressed. This is your holiday. Like, this is your time. This is your day to seize. Forget the holiday. This is your day to seize. You have the opportunity to make the best out of it, no matter what. And so I would definitely urge you to just make those necessary steps. So the first thing I said is, if you fear yourself comparing yourself to other people, other family structures, get off of social media. Be careful of the conversations that you entertain. My mentor told me that there are certain people on social media, although they're doing great in their business, she doesn't follow them because she doesn't want to become envious. She doesn't want to feel like she's not doing enough. She doesn't want to compare herself to them. And I know for some people, like, that comparison is invigorating and it makes you want to do better. But for others, it's debilitating and it produces a nasty fruit in them. And instead of realizing their worth, they're on this rat race, unnecessary rat race. And so if you feel like you could end up being on a necessary rat race during this holiday season, get off of social media. Focus, hone in to what's happening in your life right now and enjoy that day for what it is. Also, I said to distract yourself. Listen, do anything other than sit there and mope, okay? You are so much better than that. I know it's hard. Yes, if you need some time to cry those tears out, let out that emotion. Keeping it bottled up doesn't help anyone. It certainly doesn't help you. But I don't want you to stay in that funk. I want you to kind of shake yourself off. It's the end of the year. Listen, you've made it to the end of the year. You can keep going. You can keep pushing. No, it's not easy. Yes, it's hard, but it doesn't have to prevent you from living. It doesn't have to prevent you from moving on, especially in a positive way. I also said to not be prideful. There are people that you can ask for assistance. There are people you can spend time with if you don't want to spend time with your family. Don't make it seem like you've got it all together. Nobody has it all together. Everybody needs someone to lean on. So please, if you have that support system, lean on them. They're there for you. And lastly, it was to evaluate your situation, which we all did. We evaluated that, yes, it hurts, but I don't want to compare. I don't want to be prideful, and I do want to distract myself. I hope that this episode was helpful for you. If anybody else has any other tips, please share on how I could even make this holiday season better than what it's been so far. Peace and love to all of my listeners. Thank you so much. And you know, it does not rain always, but it's raining today. So please go stand in the rain.